Pokémon FireRed and LeafGreen have been re-released on Nintendo Switch, and as a guy who's been playing Pokémon since Red and Blue, I thought it might be a good idea to make a starter guide for those who are jumping in for the first time. FireRed and LeafGreen are remakes of Red and Green, the original Pokémon games that released in Japan. The story is the same, it's just that these newer versions have added content and quality of life improvements. So after you choose your and your rival's names, you'll be dropped into your bedroom. But before you can get out there and catch some Pokémon, there are a few things I strongly suggest you do. First of all, press the start button or X button on your controller to open the menu. Go to option and then text speed. Press left or right until it says fast. That will make the text boxes move much quicker. It saves so much time. After you've done that, head down to where it says sound. Instead of mono, press left or right to change it to stereo. I think the music sounds much better this way. Okay, those are two quick menu tweaks, but now you'll see there's a PC in the corner of the room. Go to it. Click item storage, withdraw item, and then select the potion. There you go, free potion for you. Right, one more thing. Modern Pokemon games and modern games in general have autosaves. This game does not. Get into the habit of saving wherever and whenever you can. All you have to do is open the menu and press save. Also, when you get to a legendary Pokemon, which will happen later on in the game, before you press A on it to start the battle, please remember to save. That's very, very important. Learn from my mistakes. So you've gotten to the point where you can choose your starter Pokemon. Awesome, but there are some things you should know. Bulbasaur is great against the first two gyms, so it's kind of an easy mode for the beginning of the game. Squirtle is great for the first gym, but not the second, so it's more of a medium difficulty. Charmander is weak to both the first and second gyms, so it's the game's hard mode. Only for the beginning though. With Charmander, you might have to do some grinding until it learns Metal Claw, which is a steel type move that's super effective against rock types, which the first gym leader uses. You can also use a Mankey, which you can find in the grass west of Viridian City. Mankey is a fighting type that learns fighting type moves, and fighting types are super effective against rock types. Speaking of the route to the west of Viridian City, don't go too far in because your rival will ambush you with a level 9 starter Pokemon and a level 9 Pidgey. Make sure your team is good enough before you jump in. Actually, you know what's good for this fight? A Pikachu. You can find one in Viridian Forest to the north of the city, but it's a rare spawn, so you might be running around in the tall grass for a while. But when you get one, it's great against that Pidgey because electric moves annihilate flying types. Also, if you chose Charmander, your rival will have a Squirtle, which is a water type and will get demolished by electric type moves as well. Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen have a help system that's activated by pressing the L or R buttons. If you ever get stuck or don't know what to do next, you can open the help menu and it will give you some ideas. There's also an old man in Viridian City that shows you how to catch Pokemon after he's had his coffee. He's one of those guys. He also gives you a Teachy TV, which can play videos that show you how to battle Pokemon, learn what status effects are, and more. It's presented by someone called the Poké Dude. Look at this guy. One big thing I have to warn you about is that the game is incredibly slow at first because you don't get access to running shoes, which allow you to run by pressing B until after you beat the first gym leader. So while you're training your team for that first stretch, heading back and forth between wild Pokemon and a Pokemon Center to heal your team, you'll be walking everywhere, and it's so slow. Now, a couple of things about battling. First of all, from the Nintendo DS games onwards, Pokemon types, like Fire or Fighting, have both physical and special moves. But on the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games, each Pokemon type is either physical or special. For example, Fire type moves are always special, and Fighting type moves are always physical. The vast majority of Pokemon fans think that the physical-special split from the DS onwards is far superior, but not having that split in FireRed and LeafGreen isn't the worst thing in the world. It just means the game is balanced differently. You probably won't care unless you're used to the newer games. Secondly, there's no sharing experience with your whole party. Only Pokemon that participate in a battle will get experience. There is an item called the Experience Share, but it's a held item that gives only the Pokemon that's holding it a share of the experience without battling. Also, in later Pokemon games, you can gain experience by catching a Pokemon, but in this game, you can't. What this all means is that you're going to be grinding a bit more than newer Pokemon games. Oh, and one last thing. Make sure you get the town map from Daisy, your rival's sister, after you get the Pokédex. She doesn't give it to you unless you ask her for it, so make sure you head into your rival's house straight away. The town map is super useful for knowing where you are and where you need to go. Sure, you can look at one in every Pokemon Center, but it's nice having a portable one wherever you go. Right, I think that's about it. These games are great, so I hope you have fun. The Let's Go games on Switch might be more accessible versions of Kanto, but FireRed and LeafGreen are what I would call the definitive versions of it. Things things that aren't in the Let's Go games, like held items and proper wild Pokemon battling, and even the Sevi Islands, which are completely separate from Kanto, are all here in FireRed and LeafGreen. They are more dated experiences compared to something like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but still just a great time. Anyway, smash that like button if you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more helpful gaming videos like this. Have a great day or night wherever or whenever you are, and I'll see you next time.